Each year, as I grow a little older, it seems to me that there are simply certain aspects of childhood magic that dissipate a bit more. And yet, I find myself in the midst of discovering new types of magic this year, ones that are perhaps even more indulgent, complex, and sweeter in a far more exotic and fulfilling way. Sometimes that magic is as simple as discovering that Hershey's makes delicious chocolate mint candy canes, and I do admit that I enjoyed them immensely while reading the book that I am about to review and recommend for you, my friends. Unlike the candy canes, however, this new book by Tobias and Emily Wayland has a sweetness which is also thoroughly spiced. Cinnamon gumdrops or fireballs, the old atomic fireball candies, not chocolate or butterscotch or caramel. I think that Joshua Cutchin, who wrote the foreword for the book, sums up the essence of the tome best. Joshua, I believe, has a way with words that enchants even the hardest of hearts. And here is what he has to say in introducing both the book and the idea of the quantum or the Fortean Christmas. Quote, "By the closing pages of this book, you will likely find Christmas time fully re-enchanted, decades after you begrudgingly accepted the fact that Santa Claus isn't real. Or is he? The Singular Fortean Society's Yuletide Guide to High Strangeness will have you reconsidering that position, if only slightly. That's the wonderful thing about this book. In many respects, it does exactly what Christmas should. It cracks the calcified cynicism of adulthood, letting a little more wonder shine through. After all, it's part of why we Forteans find the unexplained so compelling. We want to see through the eyes of a child, back to the age when we once thought anything possible, from ghosts to cryptids to elves, and yes, even Santa Claus. I'm sure you'll arrive at the same conclusion I did. The Waylands have managed to reignite that hope, like a bit of kindling piled on the dying Yule log of belief." Unquote. With Joshua's poetic introduction and endorsement of the work, and my own experiences, beliefs, hopes, and dreams as my backdrop, I have seen the Christmas season anew thanks to the light shed upon them all by Tobias's and Emily's spirited, knowledgeable new book. And far beyond the words themselves, I have found that Emily is a phenomenal, pun intended, illustrator. I perceive her art to be both professional and yet full of character at the same time, which in my past experience has been a difficult balance to strike. I am enchanted and impressed by all of her artwork and took great joy in viewing it, especially for the first time. Perhaps most impressive to me is one story in particular. It has apparently come to Tobias from a first-hand witness. Although I do not wish to ruin the story for you, I think that you may find the space between the floor and the lowest branches of a Christmas tree to be most magical. What role does liminality play within all of this, if any? And what exactly is liminality in relation to these specific accounts? Or perhaps is it all coincidence? I leave this up to you to decide. As well, I am impressed by Tobias's use and grasp of language. I find his writing to be accurate, varied, and engaging. Overall, as Joshua stated in the foreword, we Forteans seem largely to wish to see the world as we did when we were children, and to dwell in the realm of possibilities. In truth, this is the entirety of my own life goal, and to share this accomplishment with other people who would enjoy embarking on such a journey. Speaking of children, between these candy canes and the Yuletide Guide to High Strangeness, indeed, I feel quite like a child again, slight stomachache and all, and I dearly look forward to reading this book every year from here on out as a new personal classic. I do hope that you will accompany me in this new tradition in your own way, because I can guarantee you that it is worth it. Whether enjoyed with candy canes, hot cocoa, pumpkin pie, some other sentimental delight, or wholly on its own.